Hey guys, Ian Baird, Podcast MD here. Today I want to take a couple quick moments to teach you about using your USB powered microphone. And today I'm going to be talking specifically about the Yeti by a company called Blue, which I often recommend. Now, although I'm going to be dealing specifically with this microphone, most of the principles that I'm going to teach you work across the board for any USB powered microphone that you might purchase. But also keep in mind that any USB powered microphone is considered a starter microphone as far as sound is concerned. So keep in mind that there are many levels above when it comes to sound quality, but this is going to be 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000 times better than using the microphone that might be in your laptop or your desktop computer using a headset. And dear God, let's not use one of these, okay? The first thing I want you to take note of is the underside. So here is where we have our power. This is going to go to your computer. It comes with a cable. And next to it is where we can actually insert our earbuds for when we're conducting our interview. Now I want you to take a look at the back of the microphone, specifically this lower knob. Now this is what's called your polar pattern. This is going to only come into play depending on the situation that you want to set up. Now, if you're just conducting a straight interview via Skype, the only pattern you need to know is this inverted heart-shaped one that's called cardioid. So the cardioid pattern means that when you speak into the microphone, your microphone is only picking up sound from in front. If you're curious about what kind of situations you might need to use these other polar patterns, well, think if you were at a roundtable conference with many people, then you might want to switch it to the circle, which is omni-directional. This means it's picking up the same level of sound from all around the microphone. Or let's say you're conducting an interview where the person you're interviewing is sitting right across from you. Well, then you might want to use the bipolar pattern, which means that the sound is being concentrated and picked up evenly from the front and from the back of the microphone. Now, the two most important knobs seem to give people the most grief because they don't understand the difference between volume and gain. Now, volume refers to the level of sound going on across the board, what's coming into the mic and what's coming out of the mic. Because remember, the mic is also operating as your sound card. You're hearing from it through your earphones. So this is what volume refers to. So when you're conducting an interview with someone over Skype and you're hearing them in your earphones, the way to increase that level is using the volume button. But don't forget, this is increasing the volume across the board. So when you're increasing their sound using the volume, you're also increasing the level of your voice via the volume. Now gain, on the other hand, right back here, this refers to simply the amount of sensitivity of the microphone and how loud your voice is going to be going into it. So if you only want to raise up your volume and not that of your guest on the other line, then you adjust the gain accordingly. So finding the perfect balance to conduct an interview is going to depend on your ability to adjust the gain relative to the overall volume. Now, the final step in this is if you're going to be conducting your interview via Skype, you need to tell your computer to make sure that Skype and your computer are reading and writing essentially from your Yeti microphone. If not, you're just going to be using the internal microphone on your computer and not taking advantage of the fact that you actually have this beautiful microphone to use. This is actually one of the most common errors I see, is that people think they have everything set up, they've taken all the precautions they need, and then they just fail to tell the computer to make sure that it's using the microphone, and it just kills the sound. So we need to make sure that the computer and Skype are using this particular microphone in two areas. The first is going to be via Skype. So we go up to the Skype panel here, click on Preferences. It's going to bring up this window. And you can see right now I'm using built-in microphone and built-in speakers by default, or this was basically the last used setting by Skype. I have to make sure that I change this to my Yeti, and I got to make sure that I do it for both because I want to make sure that I can hear the Yeti in my earphones as well. The second area you need to do it is going to be in your system preferences, or if you're using a PC, it's going to be in your control panel. And you can see here that for my input, it's the internal microphone, and my output, it's the internal speakers. I need to make sure that I change these to the Yeti. And once that's done in both areas, both via your computer and via Skype, you should be good to go. But, and I can't stress this enough, make sure you run a test. Thanks, guys. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in contact with me, and we'll see you next time.